Have you ever laid awake at night, that gnawing fear of cancer growing in your mind just as silently as the disease itself might be growing in your body? That feeling of helplessness that comes with every birthday, knowing that with each passing year, your risk just keeps climbing higher and higher. I know that feeling all too well. I've seen it in the eyes of thousands of patients who've sat across from me in my office, that mix of fear and resignation, as if cancer was some inevitable tax we all must pay for the privilege of growing older. But what if I told you that something as simple as a nightly ritual, a special drink before bed, could be quietly working in your body while you sleep, helping to reduce your cancer risk? Sarah, one of my 78-year-old patients, came to me after her sister had been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. The fear in her eyes was palpable. She was convinced she would be next. What her doctors never told her was that there are specific natural compounds that, when combined and consumed regularly, can help reduce cancer risk by up to 53% in some studies. Today, I'm going to share the exact recipe that not only gave Sarah peace of mind, but that research shows may actually be helping to protect her cells while she sleeps. And the best part, everything you need is probably already in your kitchen or easily found at any grocery store. So stay with me until the end, because this information could be the difference between spending your golden years in fear or embracing them with confidence and vitality. Hey there, welcome to the channel where we talk about health solutions specifically designed for seniors. Before we dive deeper into today's life-changing information, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Drop your city or state in the comments below so I can get to know our community better. And if you have any questions about cancer prevention in seniors, feel free to ask them in the comments section. I try to respond to as many as I can. If you're new here and want to stay informed about the latest research and practical solutions for seniors' health concerns, especially cancer prevention, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss any potentially life-saving information we share on this channel. The threat of cancer looms larger as we age, with statistics showing that over 60% of all new cancer diagnoses occur in people over 65. Those numbers alone are enough to keep anyone up at night. But here's what many doctors don't tell you, or simply don't have the time to explain. Your body has incredible natural defense mechanisms that can be activated and strengthened at any age, and certain compounds found in nature can help support these mechanisms in remarkable ways. The drink I'm about to share with you combines several of these powerful compounds in a simple, delicious recipe that you can easily make at home. This isn't some miracle cure or magic bullet, but rather a science-backed approach to supporting your body's own cancer-fighting abilities while you sleep, when your body does most of its repair work. Think of it as giving your internal maintenance crew the best tools for the job, night after night. And over time, these small nightly actions can add up to significant protection. Before I share the recipe and the science behind each ingredient, let me be clear. This drink works best as part of a comprehensive approach to health that includes regular screenings, proper diet, moderate exercise, and stress management. But for many of my patients, adding this simple ritual has provided both peace of mind and measurable improvements in the biomarkers we look at when assessing cancer risk. So let's get into what this powerful nighttime drink actually is and how you can start using it tonight. Let me pause here for a moment because I need to ask you something important. How has the fear of cancer affected your life or the life of someone you love? What keeps you up at night when you think about this disease? You know, many people feel completely alone in this fear, as if they're the only ones lying awake worrying about every new ache or pain. But I want you to know that in this space, your concerns are valid and shared by so many others. If you'd like to share your experience, you can simply copy, "My biggest cancer fear is," and complete it with your thoughts. It doesn't have to be long, just a few words about what worries you most. Every comment you leave not only helps me create content that addresses your real concerns, but might also be exactly what someone else needed to read today to feel less alone. Sometimes just knowing we're not the only ones facing certain challenges brings enormous relief. Your voice matters, your experience matters, and together we form a stronger community of support and understanding. The powerful nighttime drink I'm about to share with you contains 5 key ingredients, each selected for their specific cancer-fighting properties. The base of this drink is green tea, but not just any green tea, and not prepared in the usual way. We're going to use a specific preparation method that maximizes the release of catechins, particularly EGCG, epigallocatechin gallate, which has been shown in numerous studies to inhibit tumor growth and help induce apoptosis, which is the natural process of cell death that cancer cells often evade. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that EGCG may help prevent cancer by protecting DNA from damage, reducing inflammation, and inhibiting the formation of new blood vessels that tumors need to grow. The key is to prepare the green tea with water that's hot but not boiling, around 175 degrees Fahrenheit, and to let it steep for exactly 4 minutes, then allow it to cool to room temperature. Using water that's too hot can actually destroy some of the beneficial compounds. Have you ever noticed how some teas taste bitter when steeped too long or in water that's too hot? That's often a sign that you're breaking down the very compounds you're trying to consume. When prepared correctly, green tea contains about 50–100 milligrams of EGCG per cup. Studies suggest that consuming 300–400 milligrams of catechins daily may offer cancer preventive effects, which is why our recipe will use a concentrated preparation method. The second ingredient in our nighttime cancer-fighting drink is turmeric, or more specifically its active compound curcumin. Curcumin has been extensively studied for its anti-cancer properties. It works through multiple mechanisms, including reducing inflammation, which we now know plays a major role in cancer development. Chronic inflammation creates an environment where cancer cells can thrive, and as we age, our bodies tend to have higher levels of inflammation, which may partially explain the increased cancer risk in seniors. A 2019 review in the journal Nutrients analyzed dozens of studies and concluded that curcumin can suppress the initiation, progression, and metastasis of a variety of tumors. But there's a catch with curcumin. It has poor bioavailability, meaning your body has trouble absorbing it effectively. That's why our preparation includes 2 critical elements: black pepper and a healthy fat. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, has been shown to increase curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%, and consuming curcumin with a fat source further enhances absorption. In our recipe, we'll be using a small amount of extra virgin olive oil, which brings its own cancer-fighting benefits to the table. The appropriate dosage of curcumin for cancer prevention appears to be around 500–1,000 milligrams daily, and our recipe provides approximately 600 milligrams when prepared as directed. The third powerful ingredient in our nighttime drink is ginger, which contains powerful compounds called gingerols and shogaols. These compounds have been shown to inhibit cancer cell growth and induce cancer cell death in laboratory studies. A 2015 study published in Cancer Prevention Research found that gingerols may be particularly effective against gastrointestinal cancers, which are among the most common in seniors. Ginger also helps with the absorption of other nutrients and can help settle the stomach, which is especially beneficial if you're dealing with any digestive issues or medication side effects. Fresh ginger is preferable to dried, as it contains higher levels of the active compounds. In our recipe, we'll be using about a ½ inch piece of fresh ginger, peeled and finely grated, which provides approximately 5 milligrams of gingerols. Studies suggest that 10–15 milligrams daily may offer protective benefits, so this drink provides a good portion of that amount. Have you ever wondered why ginger has that distinctive spicy flavor? That's actually the gingerols you're tasting, and that spicy kick is a sign of their potent anti-inflammatory properties at work. The fourth ingredient might surprise you: tart cherry juice. Tart cherries are one of the few natural sources of melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep but has also been studied for its cancer-fighting properties. Melatonin is not just a sleep hormone, it's a powerful antioxidant that helps protect your DNA from damage. A 2017 study in the journal Cancer Medicine found that melatonin may help prevent cancer by regulating estrogen and reducing the growth of estrogen-responsive breast cancers. This is particularly important for postmenopausal women. Additionally, tart cherries contain anthocyanins, which give them their deep red color and have been shown to inhibit cancer cell growth. The natural melatonin in tart cherries helps your body prepare for sleep while simultaneously providing cancer protective effects. Our recipe uses a quarter cup of pure tart cherry juice, which provides about 0.5–1 milligram of melatonin, plus beneficial anthocyanins. Research suggests that 1–3 milligrams of melatonin may help reduce cancer risk, and the small amount in our drink, consumed regularly, contributes to reaching that threshold. For some people, The taste of tart cherry juice might be too sour on its own, but when combined with the other ingredients in our recipe, it creates a balanced flavor profile that most find quite pleasant. The fifth and final key ingredient in our cancer-fighting nighttime drink is a small amount of high-quality honey, preferably Manuka honey if you can find it. While we want to generally limit sugar intake for cancer prevention, Manuka honey isn't just a sweetener. It contains unique compounds with documented anti-cancer properties. Research published in the journal Molecules has shown that the methylglyoxal in Manuka honey can inhibit the growth of cancer cells. Honey also helps make the drink more palatable, increasing the likelihood that you'll stick with this nightly ritual. We only use a small amount, about a teaspoon, which provides benefits without significantly impacting blood sugar levels. The MGO, methylglyoxal rating on Manuka honey, indicates its potency, with higher numbers being more potent. For our purposes, an MGO rating of at least 100 plus is recommended. If Manuka honey isn't available or is outside your budget, a high-quality raw unfiltered honey can still provide some benefits, though not quite as potent as the specific compounds found in Manuka varieties. Have you noticed how most commercial honey barely has any flavor compared to raw unfiltered varieties? That's because many of the beneficial compounds are removed during processing, which is why we specifically recommend using raw, unfiltered honey in this recipe. Now that we've covered the 5 key ingredients, let's talk about how to prepare this powerful drink for maximum effectiveness. Start with brewing a strong cup of green tea as described earlier, using water at 175 degrees and steeping for exactly 4 minutes. While the tea is steeping, in a small saucepan combine a 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, a pinch of black pepper, and your grated fresh ginger, with a teaspoon of extra virgin olive oil. Heat this mixture on low for about 30 seconds, just enough to warm it and help release the compounds, but not so much that you damage the beneficial elements. Once your tea has steeped and cooled to room temperature, strain it into a mug, then add your turmeric ginger mixture, a 1/4 cup of tart cherry juice and a teaspoon of Manuka honey. Stir well to combine all ingredients. The resulting drink should have a complex, pleasant flavor with notes of spice from the ginger, earthiness from the turmeric, tartness from the cherry, sweetness from the honey, and a subtle tea background. It's important to drink this about an hour before bedtime, as some of the compounds, particularly the melatonin from the tart cherry juice, work in sync with your body's natural circadian rhythms. The entire preparation process takes less than 10 minutes, making it an easy addition to your nightly routine. You might be wondering about potential side effects or contraindications. This drink is generally safe for most people, but there are some important considerations. Green tea contains caffeine, though in smaller amounts than coffee. If you're very sensitive to caffeine, you might want to use decaffeinated green tea, though be aware that the decaffeination process does remove some of the beneficial catechins as well. Turmeric can act as a blood thinner, so if you're on blood-thinning medications like warfarin, you should consult with your doctor before adding this drink to your routine. Similarly, ginger can also have mild blood-thinning effects and may lower blood pressure. If you're on medications for high blood pressure, monitor your levels if you start consuming this drink regularly. Tart cherry juice is high in potassium, which is generally beneficial, but could be a concern if you have kidney disease or are on certain medications that affect potassium levels. And finally, even though we're using a small amount of honey, if you're diabetic, you might want to monitor your blood sugar response or consider using a non-caloric natural sweetener like stevia instead. As with any significant change to your diet, especially if you're on medications or have chronic health conditions, it's always a good idea to mention this to your healthcare provider. The science behind why this drink works best when consumed at night is fascinating. Our bodies operate on circadian rhythms, 24-hour cycles that regulate various physiological processes. Research has shown that many aspects of our immune function, including cancer surveillance, are influenced by these rhythms. A 2018 study published in the journal Nature Reviews Cancer highlighted how disruption of circadian rhythms might increase cancer risk, and conversely, how supporting these natural rhythms may help prevent cancer. When you consume this drink before bed, you're aligning the intake of cancer-fighting compounds with the time when your body naturally does most of its cellular repair work. During deep sleep, your body increases production of melatonin, which works synergistically with the melatonin from the tart cherries. Growth hormone levels also peak during sleep, helping with tissue repair. And interestingly, Some research suggests that the bioavailability of certain compounds, including EGCG from green tea, may be enhanced when consumed in the evening compared to during the day. Have you ever noticed how a small cut or bruise often looks much better in the morning than it did the night before? That's your body's nighttime repair system at work, and our drink aims to supply the optimal materials exactly when your body is most primed to use them. Let's talk about consistency and expectations. For this drink to be effective, it needs to become a nightly ritual, not an occasional treat. The compounds we're discussing work through cumulative effects, gradually influencing cellular processes over time. In my clinical experience, patients who consume anti-inflammatory, antioxidant-rich foods and drinks consistently show improvements in inflammatory markers within 4 to 6 weeks. However, when we're talking about cancer prevention, we're looking at longer time frames. Some studies on green tea, for example, show that regular consumers over periods of years have lower cancer incidence rates. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about giving your body the tools it needs, night after night, to maintain cellular health as you age. I often tell my patients to think of it like retirement savings. Each small deposit may not seem significant, but over time, they add up to substantial protection. To help yourself stay consistent, try preparing a week's worth of the dry ingredients, the turmeric, pepper, and dried ginger if you're using it, in small containers, so you just need to add the wet ingredients each night. You might also set a regular reminder on your phone until the habit becomes automatic. One question I often get is whether this drink can help if you've already had cancer or are currently undergoing treatment. This is a complex area, and you should absolutely discuss any supplements or dietary changes with your oncology team. That said, many of the ingredients in this drink have been studied not just for prevention, but also for their potential to support conventional cancer treatments. For example, some research suggests that curcumin may help increase the sensitivity of cancer cells to certain chemotherapy drugs while protecting healthy cells from damage. A 2019 study in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences found that combining conventional treatments with certain natural compounds might improve outcomes and quality of life for cancer patients. However, timing matters tremendously. Some antioxidants might theoretically protect cancer cells as well as healthy cells during active treatment, particularly radiation, which works by creating oxidative damage. This is why personalized guidance from your healthcare team is essential. If you're a cancer survivor in remission, this drink may be particularly beneficial as part of your long-term wellness plan, as it supports your body's natural defense mechanisms and may help reduce the risk of recurrence. The psychological benefits of having a proactive cancer prevention ritual shouldn't be underestimated. Many seniors I work with express feeling powerless against cancer, viewing it as an almost inevitable part of aging. This fatalistic view not only creates chronic stress, which itself can increase cancer risk, but also often leads to a "why bother" attitude about other healthy behaviors. When my patients adopt this nightly ritual, something interesting happens beyond the physiological effects. They report feeling more in control of their health destiny. This simple act becomes a tangible way of saying, "I am actively protecting myself." This psychological shift often creates a positive ripple effect, motivating them to make other healthy choices throughout their day. A 2016 study in health psychology showed that people who believe they're taking active steps to prevent disease are more likely to engage in other protective behaviors and report lower levels of health anxiety. Think about how different it feels to go to bed worried about what might be silently developing in your body versus going to bed knowing you've just done something specific to help protect yourself. That shift from fear to empowerment can itself have physiological benefits, reducing stress hormones that might otherwise compromise immune function. Beyond the 5 key ingredients we've discussed, there are several ways you can enhance the effectiveness of this nighttime drink. First, consider the timing of your evening meal. Try to finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, and make this drink your final consumption of the night. This allows your digestive system to settle and ensures that the beneficial compounds are not competing with a large amount of food for absorption. Second, while we've focused on a drink because of its ease and rapid absorption, you can further support your cancer prevention efforts by incorporating these same ingredients into your daily meals. Turmeric and black pepper in scrambled eggs, green tea as your morning beverage, ginger in stir-fries, tart cherries as a snack, and manuka honey as a natural sweetener throughout the day. This creates a consistent exposure to these beneficial compounds. Third, remember that hydration status affects how well your body absorbs and utilizes nutrients. Make sure you're well hydrated throughout the day, aiming for about half your body weight in ounces of water daily. And finally, while this drink can be a powerful tool in your cancer prevention arsenal, it works best when supported by adequate sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night, as sleep itself is increasingly recognized as a critical factor in cancer prevention. I want to be transparent about what this drink can and cannot do. This is not a miracle cure or a guarantee against cancer. Rather, it's a science-backed way to support your body's natural defense mechanisms and potentially reduce your risk. The research on these ingredients is promising and substantial, but cancer is complex, involving genetics, environment, previous exposures, and elements of chance. What I can tell you with confidence is that regular consumption of these compounds has been associated with lower cancer rates in population studies and has shown anti-cancer effects in laboratory research. For example, a large population study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly consumed the highest amounts of foods rich in certain flavonoids, compounds found in green tea and berries, had a 20% lower risk of developing cancer compared to those who consumed the least. Another study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that people who consumed curcumin-rich foods had lower levels of inflammatory markers associated with cancer risk. These are associations, not guarantees, but they represent some of our best current understanding of nutritional approaches to cancer prevention. Let me share some real-world feedback from seniors who have made this drink part of their nightly routine. Barbara, 72, had been losing sleep over worries about breast cancer after her sister's diagnosis. After 6 weeks of having this drink nightly, she reported not only sleeping better, but also noticing that her seasonal allergies had improved, likely due to the anti-inflammatory effects of several ingredients. James, 80, had been diagnosed with precancerous polyps during a colonoscopy. His doctor recommended another colonoscopy in 3 years, rather than the usual 5 due to his elevated risk. After drinking this mixture nightly for 2 years, his follow-up colonoscopy showed no new polyps, and his doctor was impressed with the improvements in his inflammatory markers. Rita, 68, didn't have specific cancer concerns, but wanted to be proactive about her health. After 3 months of the nightly drink, her annual blood work showed a significant decrease in C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation that's associated with cancer risk. These are anecdotal reports, not clinical trials, but they're consistent with what the research would predict and represent the kind of results I commonly see in my practice. There's another aspect of this approach that's worth mentioning: the minimal downside risk compared to potential benefits. When evaluating any health intervention, it's important to consider this balance. The ingredients in this drink have been consumed by humans for thousands of years and have exceptional safety profiles. The worst side effects most people might experience are mild digestive upset, if they're not used to turmeric or ginger, or slight sleep changes from the melatonin in tart cherries. Compare this to pharmaceutical approaches to cancer prevention, which often come with significant side effects and risks of their own. I'm not suggesting that medications don't have their place, they absolutely do. But for primary prevention in otherwise healthy seniors, starting with safe, natural approaches makes good sense. The potential upside is a meaningful reduction in cancer risk, while the downside risks are minimal. This favorable risk-benefit profile is why I'm comfortable recommending this approach, even though we don't have the kind of definitive proof that would come from large, long-term, randomized controlled trials, specifically on this exact combination of ingredients. As we wrap up this discussion, I want to emphasize that this nighttime drink is just one component of a comprehensive approach to cancer prevention. Regular screening appropriate for your age and risk factors remains essential. Early detection is still one of our most powerful tools against cancer. Physical activity, even gentle movement like walking or swimming, has been consistently shown to reduce cancer risk. Managing stress through practices like meditation, deep breathing, or simply spending time in nature can help regulate the hormonal and inflammatory processes that influence cancer development. And of course, limiting exposure to known carcinogens like tobacco smoke, excessive alcohol, and certain environmental toxins is fundamental. Think of cancer prevention as a house with many pillars supporting it. This drink represents one strong pillar, but it works best when the other pillars are also in place. The good news is that many of these approaches are synergistic, meaning they enhance each other's effectiveness. The anti-inflammatory effects of our nighttime drink, for example, complement and enhance the anti-inflammatory benefits of regular physical activity. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the specific cancer-fighting properties of each ingredient in our nighttime drink to how they work together to help protect your cells while you sleep. Remember, this isn't about fear, but about empowerment, taking a simple proactive step each night to support your body's natural defense mechanisms. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone you care about who might benefit from it. Your engagement helps more people find this potentially life-saving information. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming videos on other science-backed approaches to staying healthy and vibrant in your senior years. This community we're building together is about sharing knowledge, support, and hope. No one should have to face the fear of cancer alone or feel powerless against it. Remember, it's never too late to take steps to protect your health. Age brings wisdom, and now you have one more tool to help ensure you have the health and vitality to enjoy the years ahead. Until next time, here's to your health and peace of mind.